Woman squanders $1 million and ends up broke after divorce. So a woman has squandered $1 million and found herself broke after robbing her husband in divorce court. Today's video comes from Manosphere Highlights Daily. His channel will be linked in the description, so you can go check him out and support his content. Watch the end of this video to fully understand the implications of this and how it's going to further affect men and women going forward. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into the video.
Are you there?
At your service, sir.
Enter the manosphere.
Of course. How can I assist you today?
Give me some of that dating foolishness.
Will do, sir.
Out of the divorce, I got $600,000.
Okay, what the f is it?
It's gone. Completely gone.
Into where?
Bought a house that was $330,000. I bought it sight unseen.
Oh no.
Yeah, I saw the outside because I drove by it. But
Oh, good, you
when
drove by it.
Yeah, it was in shambles.
You don't know where that other $150,000 to $200,000 went, do you?
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. Today we're diving into a video from Caleb Hammer's channel, Financial Audit. That's a prime example of why divorce settlements are absolutely insane and why the court system is biased towards women. I'm not going to talk about the pink wig. I'll let you guys do that in the comments. This woman walked away with $600,000 from her first husband. And get this, she blew it all within 2 years on complete foolishness.
Cool, so what's happening?
So I have an ex-husband. I was married before.
An ex-husband, 29.
Yes.
New husband, ex-husband. Okay, wow.
Yes. So this
Alright.
is my second marriage that I'm in right now. But with my
I can't even
previous
get
husband, yeah. So out of the divorce, I got $600,000.
The f
Yes.
Why?
That was part of our settlement. So I could have taken more, but I didn't, which I'm kind of now regretting a little.
And this, my brothers, is exactly why men need to protect themselves at all times when it comes to marriage. But before we get into this financial mess, let's talk about what she doesn't say and what really happened. Let's break down the foolishness. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we men, ain't we? We men, ain't we?
How long are you guys married?
Married for 5, but together for 10 years.
10 years. How old are you guys when you got married?
So I met him when I was 19, and he
young for
was
marriage.
twice my age. So I
Like-
think
40?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
And I definitely think I was groomed in the beginning.
That's a strong word.
It is.
That word gets thrown around a lot right now, just kind of like the word pedophile, the word, the
Yeah.
R word, and a lot of other words have kind of lost their meanings.
So, guys, do you see one of the reasons why men are avoiding women in Western society? Because relationships in Western society, because even when you go out and you find a woman who is 19 years old, and you get into a relationship with a woman who is 19 years old, all right? And she comes across as fit and feminine. Guess what? Because of the way that Western society is structured, she will always see herself as a victim. If a man goes to the Philippines and he's 40 years old and he marries a 19-year-old, no one in the Philippines is going to judge him. You know what's going to happen? The people around her, especially if he's a well-off person. So, for example, he works out, he takes care of himself, he's in good shape, and to be honest, he doesn't even need a lot of that. All right, I'm going to be honest. She can land herself a guy who's 50 with a belly, in his 50s or 60s with a belly, and he has retirement income coming in, and that's it. And the Filipinos around her will ask her, "How did you get that man?" Because in most other countries, it has always been normal, and throughout history, it has always been normal for a man who is older to marry a woman who is substantially younger than him. Because men have to work their entire lives to build enough wealth and value, and sometimes even their physiques to just attract a woman. A lot of men have to go through 20 years of discipline, ups and downs, before they get a great body. This is something that that we don't talk about as men. A lot of us don't talk about this as men because not just everyone when they're young has a great body. Look at Gen Z; they look like shit. Physically, they are so 77% of Gen Z, and this goes back to 2020 data collected from 2017 through 2019 found that Gen Z was so obese, mentally incompetent, mentally obese, mentally incompetent, mentally ill, that they could not serve in the military. Oh, and also because of substance abuse and addiction. 77%. That was 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago from those results. So Gen Z is a perfect example of this, even where a lot of young men, they are not fit. They don't, and the habits necessary to maintain your body, it takes longer. I remember I used to have a personal trainer that I was going to work with. I used to do a personal trainer. And this guy was in his early 30s, early to mid 30s when I knew him. And I heard someone say that, he felt kind of frustrated because he wishes now like he had done all of these things when he was younger. And he could have been in this shape when he was younger. But as a man in my 40s now, I realized, bro, you got there in your 30s. Be grateful. It doesn't just happen like that. You had to learn these things, and you had to sometimes struggle and suffer to get this knowledge. Because sometimes, even if you had the knowledge, you wouldn't have been ready to apply the knowledge. We all look back on our lives and say, I wish I could have done this. But guys, if we didn't have certain experiences, sometimes the knowledge would have meant literally nothing to us because we weren't ready yet. And of course, I get it. If you were already trying really hard back then, you didn't have the knowledge, and that's different. But for a lot of men who have no motivation and no drive, and they're not going to push themselves and grind and move for change, the knowledge wouldn't do anything for them. So it's not just money. It's not just the money that it takes us a long time to get as men, enough wealth so that we can, support a woman and a family. It also takes us time, and we don't talk about this, to build up our bodies. Because for so many men, especially today, they look way better in their 30s and 40s than in their 50s, or than in their teens. Even a lot of guys in their 50s now, and as Gen X is going into their 60s, even into their 60s, look better than they did in their 20s and in their teens. Because it takes time as a man to develop yourself. There are so many men walking around today that look younger now than they did in their 20s because of all the weight that they lost. Are the muscle that they put on, and they started taking care of themselves. At 21, they looked like shit. At 31, they look incredible. It's an amazing transformation. They look younger now because they're shaved, they're groomed, they're taking care of themselves, they're eating right, they're living well. It's a big difference. Women go through the same thing in a sense, however, they don't. There are a lot of women who do take care of themselves, and they learn how to take care of themselves and improve their health as they get older as well, just like men. But those are the ones that actually try and make the effort. On the other hand, most women today are not going to the gym, or if they go to the gym, they're just fucking around in there. Most women today are drinking Starbucks and eating cookies. All right, giant motherfucking cookies, and stuffing their faces. Like, guys, I'm telling y'all right now, I do carnivore. I do carnivore diet. I sneak in a little bit of steamed cabbage. I sneak in a little bit of steamed cabbage and spinach here and there. That's my diet. All right. Maybe a little broccoli sometimes, although they say we're not supposed to mess with broccoli because it can create stomach problems. Carnivore is basically just eating meat, and I'm working my way back towards intermittent fasting, just eating one meal a day. I did that for years, just ate one meal a day. And that's life for a lot of people. That's life for a lot of men. Okay. And then the average little white girl is at Starbucks having a mocha frappuccino, an iced latte every 5 minutes, every day. And the thing is that they don't realize They can get away with this now when they're 18 or 19 and they have a normal metabolism. When they start getting into their late 20s, 30s, especially 40s, it goes downhill from there. It goes way downhill. And in some cases, for some women, it even, there are women like, for example, Stacey Dash. Many of you guys know who Stacey Dash is from like Clues. She looked amazing well into her 50s. And recently, and she's a total baddie, but recently, her looks have gone down. She's gained a lot of weight. And it just happened out of nowhere. You can see she's still trying to diet. She's still trying to stay in shape. But like this change just happened like overnight. With over like the course of 2 years, 1 to 2 years, she just gained all of this weight and now she looks way older. And the truth of the matter is that women don't understand that changes in their metabolism, for example, going through menopause, most women are completely oblivious. It's amazing how women don't understand how their bodies work. Increasingly, men are having a better understanding of the way a woman's body works than most modern women. It's crazy. For example, most women think they can have kids well into their 40s or even at 50 years old. And they will do crazy things like freezing eggs and trying to get pregnant at 50. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And doing hormone injections, and they don't care. They really don't care. And this stuff is painful. They're human beings. And they will put themselves through this torture because other women told them that they're strong and beautiful and powerful and they don't need no man. Most women don't understand the implications that come as you get older, because men have to work hard and build their value. They're learning. In our 20s, we're learning what works from what doesn't work. We're building, we're grinding, we're doing all of these things. What are women doing? They're not doing any of these things. So by the time they get to their 30s or their 40s, they don't know anything. I'm not saying it's all women, but I'm saying it's most women. The average woman doesn't know much, because the average woman doesn't spend all of her time learning how to build wealth, learning how to take care of her health, learning how to do these things. I'm not saying that there are not the exceptions. I'm not saying there's not a big fitness community of women. I'm not saying that there are not girl bosses, although you have to be careful with those girl bosses because so many of them are flat broke right now, because most businesses will fail. The vast majority of businesses will fail. And if there's one thing that you need to learn how to do when you run a business, is you have to learn financial literacy. Just because you're receiving money doesn't mean that you can start spending that money. And many women don't understand that concept, and they don't want to hear anything. It's definitely a hard reality that we live in. It's a hard reality that we live in. And modern women don't understand just how hard life is. A lot of women today that are now going after rich and powerful men, these men gave them opportunities, or these men were men that they dated, but now they're getting older. And as the result of getting older, they are like, well, how am I going to survive? Oh, I know, I'm going to go after this guy that I dated 20 years ago. He's worth like what, 50 million, $100 million. Or even it doesn't matter, as long as I can, extract wealth and resources from him, I'll just go after him. Because what alternatives do I have? I could suffer and live in obscurity, or I can just use the court system, and the court system is always going to believe me. I'm a woman, so everyone is going to believe me because we live in a society where it's believe all women. And what's the worst case scenario if they find out that I was lying? The worst case scenario is a slap on the wrist. 99% of the time, I won't get any jail time. I can just move away, change my name, and even then, I'll still probably get money one way or another from like charities and organizations that will come to my aid. And there's a much greater chance that that he may even settle, or I'll be able to nab something from it either way. And guess what? And the thing is, I'm just going to listen to my feelings. So even if something didn't happen, my feelings told me that it did. So even if we were together physically 20 years ago and it was consensual back then, I can retroactively withdraw consent. So now it's no longer consensual. This is the position that a lot of women are putting themselves in. Guys, if you look at the situation with Cassie right now, where Diddy was arrested, this guy's a scumbag. But let's make it clear, Cassie put her hands on Diddy too. evidently. And I felt like something was off. Like this is the type of volatile relationship that they had. They were together for like 10 years or more. They were together for a very long time. And if there's one consistent thing in stories from people who talk about the relationship, like things that Diddy did and they saw happen, or when they were things were happening with them, or happening to them, they constantly bring up Cassie. She was his greatest confidant. She was always with him. All right. That was his bottom B. She was in charge. Guys, do not be surprised if Cassie was not involved even in the finances. She was his Ghislaine Maxwell. And what I truly think is like, while I think that I think she was organizing organizing dates, going out, finding girls and men to take part in not just the freak offs, but other things that like the private stuff. Like this dude had dungeons. This dude had literal dungeons. That's what I truly believe, where like this type of stuff was happening, right? And now Cassie is like, she's going to play government witness and all this other BS. The truth is that, guys, hard times are coming for women, and they don't even, and many of them are on social media crying because they can't afford anything with this crazy amounts of inflation. And no matter who wins in November, women are still going to keep on voting for socialist policies, believing that they're going to get free money. It doesn't work like that, because eventually you do run out of other people's money. You have this simp pastor. Oh, men are living on credit. Men are not working. The bastard, what he's trying to, the truth is that it's not men so much that are living on credit. There are some. The vast majority of people living on credit right now are women. The reason why these simp pastors are pissed off is because they're losing out on the tax money. When you say tax money, tithing is a tax. Tithing is a tax. 10% of your salary, and you should pay from your gross, not your net. And that, to my understanding, I read a comment from someone who said that tithe money is allowed to be used. It's supposed to be used for the pastor. That's how he pays his bills. So if you're not paying that tithe money, he's not getting paid. Men pay 80% of all taxes in the United States. Now think about, and this is how it's going to be throughout all of Western society. Now use your heads. Use your heads very carefully. If women have the majority of all college degrees, if women out-earn men in the workforce, and they've been out-earning men since the 1970s, so it's going into 50 years, and yet men still pay the majority of all taxes, that's because men have to work harder than women. They have to work longer hours than women. They have to work multiple jobs. They have to work a lot more years than women. That's why in many countries, women are allowed to retire in their 50s, while men still have to wait until their 60s to retire. Sometimes women get to retire anywhere from 5 to 10 years before men, even though women will live on average up to 10 years longer than men, 5 to 10 years longer than men, if not more than that. And yet, women get to retire earlier. So most women are not built to work for the rest of their lives. Women don't understand that they're going to start to break down. Their bodies are going to start to break down. Their minds are going to start to break down. They're going to start to feel that tiredness, and they're not going to be able to keep on going. Not having a man to be there with them, not having a man to support them, it's going to catch up on them. It's going to have very serious implications on their lives and their livelihood. It's not going to last forever. And even if you get a lot of money like this young lady did, and you have no financial literacy, you will lose all of it. There was a time in my life, and I share this story with you, where I prayed to God and I said, God, I want a ton of money. And I gave him a number, and he gave all of it to me. Not at the exact moment, but within a very short period of time. And I lost all of it because I did not know how to properly manage it. Even though I was trying to do right, even though I was trying to build a business with it, I did not know how to properly manage it. I did not understand the business model that I was going after. I did not understand the industry that I was going into. And as a result, everything fell apart. You have to know how to manage money. You have to understand finance. All right. That's another thing about starting a business. That's one of the reasons why, guys, you have to learn. I have my YouTube course coming out for you. And that'll teach you how to start a successful YouTube business. Because guys, I make over 6 figures from this channel alone. I told you that. Just from this one channel, I make over 6 figures. And I built this channel over the course of a year. And it's already become a 6-figure business just from revenue, just in revenue alone. And it's insane. But that's what you can do. And you don't need you don't need 50,000 subscribers. You don't need any of that. There are people making $100,000 a month on YouTube with just 10,000 subscribers. Okay. When I had 3,000 subscribers, only 3,000, like starting off like 10 years ago, I would make easily around $55,000 that was not working as hard. That was not working as hard as I could. But just like in ad revenue, I'd make around $50,000 a year with 3,000 subscribers. And of course, the vast majority of money is not going to come from subscribers. It's from the audience that you have. It's being able to, leverage products and services and, things that you're an authority on. For example, I'm an authority on YouTube. I'm a YouTube content expert. So when my course comes out and you're able to purchase my course, you're able to learn how to do what I've done and build your brand, build your business, and start making that income for yourself. The thing that people don't understand about YouTube is that it doesn't matter how many views that you get. Sometimes you guys will look at my videos and you'll say, well, Angry, your views have gone down, But what you don't understand is my watch time has gone up. So, let's say before I might have to put out 5 videos to make $500 a day. But now, my videos might get, I might put out 2 videos, and those videos may not get as many views as I was getting before when I was putting out 5 videos a day, but my watch time has gone up by, let's say, 3 or 4 times. So now I'm making $500 a day just from those videos because I've increased my watch, just from those 2 videos because I've increased my watch time. These are things that you have to learn, but you would never know these things unless you have an expert, unless you can benefit from the knowledge of a man that came before you. Modern women don't even have these things. They don't have a good support system. They have women who are teaching them how to rob and take advantage of men and boys, destroy the lives of men and boys just for the sake of it because their emotions told them to. What the next big thing within the manosphere, and I've talked about this, is going to be learning discipline and learning how to be alone. Learning how to be alone is going to become a very big part of the manosphere. That's because right now we're in the conclusion phase where we're moving beyond figuring out how to deal with women and the things that are affecting us in society when it comes to dating and relationships and how women treat men. We're past this. We're moving past that. We figured out what the problem was. We figured out how to solve it. Okay, we put the solution into place. That's men walking away. So men with alternatives. That includes men going overseas and finding, Filipinas or Latinas. That includes men who are basically choosing, leaving toxic environments and toxic people behind. We found MGTOW, men going their own way, who are choosing to avoid dating and relationships entirely, and even society and, living, focusing on themselves. We have soft guy era, which is basically men refusing to compromise and saying that, they're in their soft guy era. It's about self-care, self-preservation. And if a woman wants something, she's going to have to invest in them and do for them the things that women were previously asking men to do, demanding men do, because the man is the prize. So we found, guys, we have solutions, and every day there are new solutions. If women come after one, men just create another one. Just like every time women invade male spaces, men will create new spaces. Every time women try to destroy one solution, men will just create another solution. Okay? They tried to destroy MGTOW. MGTOW is still going strong. And now we have men walking away. Okay? Now we have passport kings. Now we have soft guy era. As women try to invade one space and destroy one thing, we just create another one. They're trying to destroy the manosphere. Good luck with that. The manosphere is just basically what men are interested in. So the manosphere exists in our minds, which is the reason why they want to police, why they want to go after men who are, they want to control thoughts. They want to punish you just for your thoughts right now. It's something that has happened throughout many societies. This is nothing new. It's something quite old. Thought policing. If you are even susceptible to being under the influence, or being susceptible to the influence of a specific ideology, then you can be taken into custody. That's what they did in communist countries, Marxist countries. That's what they're doing in the UK right now, where if a boy is even believed to be susceptible to extreme misogyny, or the if or the or mass or ma or the man or manosphere influence, or Andrew Tate, then his teacher will be under will be obligated, or anyone around him in a position of authority will be obligated to report him to the Department of Terrorism. In many cases, this is only going to be done to create fear within the boys themselves and lead to thought policing amongst them. So in most cases, these boys won't be arrested, but in some cases they will be. So they're going to sit there afraid to even have these thoughts, afraid to even discuss these things, and then they'll be indoctrinated with the things that they want them to learn, or what and that they want them to think. In other words, don't ignore everything that your eyes see and your ears. Ignore what you see and everything that you hear, and only believe what we tell you to believe. It is guys, this right now, this is about enslaving the mind, because men have physically, they've tried physical enslavement. Now they want mental enslavement, where you will basically do as you're told. You will not be able to think critically, and you will simply obey. You'll be able to do just enough. You're just capable enough to keep things going, but not capable enough to want to ask, why are you even listening, or why are you even doing the things that you're told to do? Okay? Not you won't be able to ask questions, or even know what questions to ask. This is basically the age of stupidity, and that's just the way they like it, and that's just the way they want it. They want you to be fat, they want you to be stupid, they want you to be demoralized. Fat, stupid, lazy, demoralized, because then they can do whatever they want to do. Then they can take control. They can control you, they can control the world, they can control society, and they can have all the toys for themselves. This is one of the reasons why you guys need to learn how to survive and thrive. And I have my course for you guys, learn how to survive and thrive using government and community resources. This is knowledge that I gained over the last 10 years, and I had to fight for this knowledge. In today's challenging world, knowing how to use government and community resources can make all the difference. That's why I created the Survive and Thrive course. This 12-lesson crash course teaches you how to secure cash, money, food, housing, healthcare, and more. Imagine having a trusted advisor showing you how to leverage community support to stabilize your finances and grow your wealth. Join me and learn step-by-step strategies to maximize available resources and enhance your financial stability. Click the link in the description to sign up now, guys, because this is something that every man needs to know how to do. Because if you end up in a situation, guys, you can lose anything at any given moment. Nothing is guaranteed. You may feel like you're on top of the world, but you don't understand that you can lose everything. You can lose all of your money. You can lose, you'll never know. You will never realize that everything can just fall apart in your life. You may think, oh, I'm good, I have all of this money. You guys, it could be gone in a second. But it's about knowing how to maximize wealth and how to survive one way or another. A lot of millionaires could survive. If they lost their millions right now, nothing would change for them, because of the way that they live, because they understand finance. They understand how to manage money. A lot of these millionaires, they drive around in old luxury cars. They shop at Costco. They're very, very frugal when it comes to, for example, even having their, this guy told me a story. He said that he went to a millionaire's house once, knocked on the door, giant house, and he said that he basically told him that he's cutting grass and that he would cut his grass for $20. And the guy just looked at him and he goes, I don't think that's in the budget right now. $20. And he said that he will never forget what he learned that day. That is how these guys, you don't get rich spending money, wasting money on just on on stupid things like toys and other and cars. Guys, listen to me. Modern women, that's how modern women live. They buy things that have no real value or they don't understand. Like this woman bought a $300,000 house, and that she didn't even go inside. She basically she just saw the house from outside and purchased it. Who in their right mind does something like that? And that's how, guys, when you understand how women operate, how women think, that a woman would literally spend $330,000. She gets a $600,000 settlement, but she didn't have to work any. She didn't have to work hard for that money, so she could care less about it. All right, it's like winning the lottery. So she spends $330,000 on a house that she didn't understand. She never even stepped inside. She doesn't even know what she's getting involved in. She doesn't know if there was like taxes owed on the house. She doesn't know if the house is condemned. No, she just basically drove by. It's like, oh yeah, it looks good. Saw like pictures of it. Yeah, we're good. I'll take that house. It'll be fine. This is how the average woman thinks and operates. This is why I've said this before. Women were not designed to live without husbands. And I had this idiot like, oh, I listen, Angry. I know women, tons of women who are living, who are single and older now, and they're living, and they're doing great, and they're happy with being single. You don't know how they're actually living. You don't know that a lot of these women are crying themselves to sleep. You don't know how miserable these women are. You don't know what's in their hearts, and they will never admit to it. And then sometimes they'll stay there with their friends and they'll talk shit with their friends about men, because a lot of these women are bitter. And you have to understand, be very, very careful with bitter men and bitter women, especially bitter women, because no one is more stubborn than a woman, especially a bitter woman. Women will scorch the earth and they will basically they'll basically go see Jesus with being bitter and holding on to grudges, hate, and lies. This is why whenever you hear you hear about bedside confessions, most of the time those confessions are by men. Those confessions are by men, not by women. Most bedside confessions are, end of life confessions are by men, because men have a conscience. Most women do not. Or if they do, it's very hard. I'm not saying women don't have consciences, but most women, because women process things using emotions versus instead of facts. Women basically think in emotions. Women think in emotions, not in facts. Because women think in emotions and not in facts, as a result of that, their conscience is often extremely flawed. The decisions that they make are extremely flawed, and as a result, they will do some of the worst things and then turn around and say, I'm not responsible for what happened, or my emotions betrayed me. And they don't actually regret what they did to the person. They simply regret the consequences. For example, a person gets into a car accident, and as a result of their poor decisions, the other people that were in another car, those people no longer are with us. And let's say it's a family, and they'll go into court. The man will comprehend what he did. And sometimes you have some really wicked men out there, and they'll just basically say they don't care. But most men can put themselves in the shoes of the family and comprehend what happened. Oh my gosh, if this happened to me, how would I feel? Most women cannot do that. So while men and women will apologize for their actions, the man will grieve what he has done. Okay? The woman will grieve and how that affects. A man will grieve what he has done and how that now affects the family and the loved ones of the people that lost these people, or society as a whole. The woman will not grieve for the family. The woman will not grieve for society. The woman will grieve the consequences. She will not apologize for what she's done to the family. She will apologize for the consequences that that she's now facing as a result of what she's done to the family and to society and to the people whom she did this to. She's not apologizing. She's not regretful for any of this. She's regretful of the consequences. This is the difference between men and women, because our brains are wired differently. The brain of a man and the brain of a woman is wired extremely differently, and our psychology is different. Our thinking is different. It's quite substantial. Quite substantial.
Yes.
So, are you sure? Because it's a very methodical process of separating people from all their connections in order to make them feel cornered, so that over the course of many years, likely starting from a young age, they cannot escape the position that they are in at that point.
Yes. So, I mean, I met him when I was 19, so I wasn't like young. I was technically an adult.
Yeah, you're 2 years into adulthood.
Yeah.
Still probably mentally immature, but you're 2 years into adulthood.
Yes.
So there's a 20-year age gap, and she claims she was groomed. All right, fine. But where were her parents in all this? She wasn't a child. She got married.
To be very clear, another problem is that women like to make the argument that men are far behind them mentally. But you're a woman. Women are far ahead of us. So sure, he's a 20-year-old, he's a 40-year-old man, but you're a woman. So psychologically, you're far ahead of him. You're smarter than him. You're more capable than him. He's still like a child at 40 years old. You're a grown woman at 40 years old, at 19 years old, because women mature faster than men. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. They'll come up with every excuse in the world. You see, guys, when we're talking about when it works in their favor, they're more mature than us. When it comes down to when they screw up and it works against them, they say that they were groomed, they were taken advantage of, they didn't know any better. You are an adult. You are not a little girl. You're a child. You're not. I mean, don't get me wrong. 19 people are still idiots at 19, but women have lots of power today. Women have all the power. Women have all the power, and they can do whatever the hell they want to. And of course, and again, yes, absolutely. Where were her parents? That's a great question. It's a very, very good question. Where the hell were her parents? But the truth of the matter is that they probably, listen to me, she chose the streets. She chose the streets. She chose that life. And if she was able, and I'm not going to listen, if she was able to marry a guy that had that kind of money, then I don't think that was such a bad thing. Marrying a man with lots of money that can take care of you and provide for you, that's a good choice. The problem is that she never really loved him. That's why I say she will never love you. She can love things that you have. She can love things that you can do for her, but she will never love you as an individual. She can never love you. The men that she loves are Chad, Tyrone, Ray, Pookie, Enrique, Miguel, Quan, Little Pancho. She loves Little Pancho, his brother Sancho, and let's not forget Hung Lo. Okay, these are the men that she loves. These are the men that she actually wants to be with. You're nothing more than an ATM for her. Okay, all she wants from you are your attention, your time, and your money. She can like how you look. She can like things about you. She can like the things that you can do for her, but she will never truly like you, or even love you. All right. Women are planning their divorce before they plan their wedding. She knew exactly what she wanted from this man. She wanted money from him, and she got it. Notice she says that she regrets not getting even more. She doesn't think about how hard this man had to work for that money. She could care less. And I guarantee you, she very well may be in debt right now. Probably is in debt right now, and she's only 29 years old. And why is she wearing that kind of wig? You see, guys, women are aging so poorly right now because of the poor decisions that they've made. They don't even take care of themselves the way that women took care of themselves in the past. They use makeup and all of these cosmetics to so-called enhance their looks, which is really making them look like someone that they're not. But the consequences of this is that it ages them rapidly. Like all of those Gen Z girls, guys, that are like all of these Gen Z women, they're going to look 50, like 60, like a hard 50, like hard 50s and hard 60s in their 30s. Y'all think I'm joking? Y'all think I'm joking? Okay. These girls, I said it and I said it, and you're going to see it. They are going to look hard 50s and hard 60s in their 30s. Wait for it. Many of them already do. Many of them already do.
Where were her parents and who were the witnesses at the wedding? She was 24 when she got married. 20 years ago, the average age of marriage for women was 25 years old. But here's the real kicker. She knew exactly what she was doing when it came to the money.
Wait, why could you have taken more and why didn't you?
Well, I could have, because if I were doing like a divorce with like 50-50 split, I would have gotten.
Could you have done 50-50 split?
I could have.
So this was a pretty well-to-do person.
Yes. So I don't know exactly
No
how
prenup?
much I would have. No, he tried to get me to sign a prenup, and then I didn't sign a prenup, and then he tried to get me to sign a postnup, and I didn't sign a postnup.
Post nut.
Yes. And so,
She refused to sign a prenup or post.
She refused to sign a prenup because she planned her divorce before she planned her wedding. You see, guys, that's the importance. These are the lessons. These are the lessons that are so important that I've spent a decades of my life to acquire, learning on my own and also learning from other men. This is the importance why men need other men, okay? Men need other men so that they can learn from other men. They can learn from the experiences of other men, and they can learn from the successes as well as the failures, okay? Smart men learn from their own mistakes and failures. Wise men learn from their own mistakes and failures, as well as the mistakes and failures of other men. That's what makes them wise, okay? You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and then expecting a different outcome. And a lot of men do that today. They rinse and repeat. They go out with the same toxic women, the same toxic people, in the same toxic environments, and then expect something different. They expect a different result. Okay? A lot of times it's just not going to work out the way you want. You're going to have to understand the way women actually operate, the way women actually think. Guys, jump onto the Angry Guy Clubhouse. It's an incredible community that I've built for you. Check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse and dive into exclusive podcasts, Gen X stories, and more. Plus, get access to our passive income blueprint, exclusive videos, and guides on building wealth and thriving. We also have a chat where you can reach me directly. So some of you guys send me emails. Guys, the fastest way to really reach me, is like jump into the chat, and, we can converse there. And so don't miss out. Click the link in the description to subscribe now to the Angry Guy Clubhouse, guys. Women today, guys, they don't have these communities. The sisterhood is a joke. The sisterhood is falling apart rapidly. The sisterhood is eating itself alive, okay? It's absolutely eating itself alive, and it's eating itself alive because there was never any unity among the sisterhood. It was all about extracting wealth and resources from men. It was all about taking advantage of men. And now the roosters are coming home to crow. And the funny thing is that as women begin losing rights, and they're not rights, they're privileges, because men are the defenders of women. Men are the protectors of society, and as men walk away, that's going to leave tyranny to run free. So as women begin to lose their rights and privileges, they'll turn to men and say, "Men, help us! Men, save us!" And men will basically whisper, "No." Okay, in many cases, they won't see men at all because men will be gone. Men will be chilling at home. Men will be out of the country, or men will be in prison where women put them. But men are not going to be there for them. It's not going to be like the 90s because you should not go around inviting homeless women to come and live with you. There's a reason. Listen to me. A lot of people end up homeless for a variety of different reasons, but a lot of people are homeless because they choose to be homeless. All right. Most women are homeless because they choose to be homeless, because there are so many resources available to women. When you interview some of these homeless women, some of these homeless women are receiving street interviews. They'll say straight up, I'm out here by choice. I am homeless by choice. These women are homeless by choice because they'll tell you, it's like the streets were calling out to me.
Ex-husband requested it. So her frontal lobe of the brain was developed enough to protect her financial future, but she suddenly didn't know any better when she spent his money? Interesting.
You can
But
make your own choices.
definitely over time, it was more like I couldn't spend some time with friends or.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
starts to get a little. He started separating you from your groups.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
He kind of
yeah.
started separating me. And then it didn't turn into like such a great kind of relationship.
What do you mean?
And he definitely like used money to control me. So
In what ways?
so he would be like, I was spending my $5,000 a month and he
Yeah.
was just paying off my credit card and I didn't have to worry about anything. And then, he would get mad at me and like throw me out of the house and say, you can't come back here. And so then I would sleep in my car.
What? What
Or
the fuck? What? Wait.
yeah. So
No reason given, or because you spent the 5,000?
he thought
I mean,
that
that's still insane either way. But
Yeah, he thought that I was cheating on him.
well,
Which-
were you?
No, I
Okay.
wasn't. And so, but he had kind of this idea of like any male that I had a conversation with or that I knew.
Oh, this dude's
was
weird.
Yeah, this guy's being a simp right now. Okay. First off, this is a woman who didn't want to sign a prenup, didn't want to sign a postnup, clearly was after this guy for money. All right. She claims that she didn't know any better and he took advantage of her because she was so young, but she knew not to sign a prenup. Right. Come on, y'all. She says that he thought that she was cheating on him and he was just being paranoid. Half of all women admit to having a backup man, a backup plan. And a lot of these guys, here's the thing about these men who end up getting into these relationships with women, and they become so damn needy and so damn obsessive. Guys, if you're with a woman, you should not just always know if you're dating, it doesn't matter who she is. You're in a committed relationship or you're married to her. This is why a lot of y'all aren't ready for me. And that's why you need those of you that are not ready to hear this, you need to go somewhere else. That's why I said, if you don't want this knowledge, if you cannot accept it, leave. I won't hate you for it. Leave because you're not ready for it. Don't spam my comments. Don't bother me. I don't give a shit. All right. Please get the fuck out. Get out and don't come back. That's literally because if you come back, you need to come back and you need to call me senpai or sama. All right. And you need to show humility before you ever show your face again around me again. Because if you're not ready for it, because if you create problems in my life, you start trying to stress me out, then fuck you. Because I'm out here giving this knowledge for free, teaching you guys what I had to fight for and suffer to get. And if you're in a relationship with a woman, it doesn't matter how much good of a wife she is. It doesn't matter how good of a woman she is. She will always cheat on you. I'm not saying she is cheating on you, but she will always cheat on you. Women are not committed to relationships the way that men are committed to relationships. Women are not loyal to their husbands the way that men are loyal to their wives. Men are thinking the way that they want to think. You have to the way that they want to think, or they're using their feelings, but they're not using facts. This is a big problem. A lot of you guys, when I talk about relationships with women, you cannot apply facts. A lot of you become completely ingrained, like the idiots who said, if you meet, would you choose one Bitcoin or, take one Bitcoin or meet your soulmate? And so many people said soulmate. It was like almost half of these people said soulmate. And it's like, what? Soulmate? Come on. And they were like, listen, it doesn't matter if when you meet your soulmate, even if you're homeless, she will never leave you. Once you've met your soulmate, that person will never leave you. That's how stupid these men are. That's how foolish these men are. Where they would choose, because a Bitcoin is worth about $65,000 right now. They could just take the Bitcoin and immediately convert it to cash and send it to their bank account immediately from Coinbase. Okay, or crypto.com, or so many of these, they could instantly convert that shit to cash. I had some idiot in the comments saying that $65,000 is not even enough money to start a business. And I'm telling you, yes, YouTube has a bots problem now, but these people have been around forever. They've been around forever. And then what ends up happening is they'll come back to me years later and say, Angry, I was one of your trolls, and now I went out there into the world. I thought I had these big cojones, big balls. and I got fucked. Angry you were right. Say it again. Angry you were right. Can we be friends? No, fuck you. You're one of my tormentors. Get the fuck out of here. All right? Because so many guys are arrogant. They want women to be the way they want them to be. Even when you go overseas and you meet women overseas who are fit, feminine, and friendly, you don't understand these women. These are not virtuous women. Okay? I have female friends, and I'm able to talk to my female friends and ask them how women actually live and what they're actually doing. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen them cheat on their partners. I'm friends with their partner, and they're cheating on their partner. I had a friend who messaged me. He was out of the country and asked me to go check on his partner while she was busy cheating on him. And I found out she was cheating on him. But what the hell? You think I was going to go and get in the middle of it? You think I'm stupid? I'm not fucking around. I'm not stupid. I left that shit alone. Most men don't understand, or they don't care. When it comes to women, women think differently than men. Grandma who comes across as this virtuous woman and the perfect she was a saint. Guys, she did a lot of shit too. But back in those days, there was no internet. Everyone wasn't walking around with cell phones. So a lot of the things that she did, she was able to keep it secret. Many of you don't know that grandma got pregnant when she was young. Grandma got pregnant when she was 14. A lot of women got pregnant when they were teenagers back in those days, especially before birth control. What they did was they would send the girl away. So they would basically send the girl upstate if the parents had the means. And she'd basically have the baby upstate. The baby would be given up for adoption. The girl would return. And she would act like nothing ever happened. And she would tell no one. And then she would go on to get married, have a normal life, have children, maybe even go to college. And this would happen. This would happen all the time. For those of you thinking that these women were virtuous, this bullshit. Women have always been like this, but people didn't know how they dealt with this stuff. Many of you were born in the modern day era, so you have no idea how things happened 100 years ago. You think that women were perfect 100 years ago. This bullshit is, women have not changed. It's men who have changed. More men today we have more simps today than ever before. It is the simp that has destroyed society. It is the simp that has brought society to its knees. It is the simp that is responsible for the hell on earth that we are now going through. It is 100% the simp.
So,
Okay.
yes. So I grew up. So you have to.
Red flag alert.
And of course, there is the "he thought I was cheating, but I wasn't" narrative. Well, what is cheating these days anyway? Studies show that 50% of women have a backup partner in mind. Do you believe her? I'll leave that up to you. But let's dig deeper. Her spending habits of $5,000 a month with her ex-husband's credit card reveal a lot more than just a shopping problem.
Can you make me feel good? Can you make me feel good?
It may have been one of the key reasons for his suspicions. Now, I'm not saying spending money automatically means cheating, but when you're running through thousands each month on things that don't add up, questions naturally arise. Combine that with her ex-husband telling her she couldn't see her friends. Well, what kind of friends are we talking about here? Are we talking about male friends? The ones who are ready to if she's willing to give it up. Fellas, if a woman has a lot of male friends,
Run! Get to the chopper!
she was married. And let's be real, certain friends aren't exactly great for your marriage. You know the ones I'm talking about. the ones who encourage bad habits.
You see, guys, it's different when a couple has a friend. For example, the man is also friends, so the man knows the person. So, for example, when I had a friend where I knew the man and the woman. In fact, I'll give you another example. Mayumi, I consider Mayumi a friend, but I also consider her husband a friend. This is the only way that a relationship can work between a married man, between a married woman and another man, right? If the other person is, for example, friends with both the man and the woman, then that becomes a family friend. And if the family friend, basically, if you're really friends with that person, if you're really friends with that person, then, you know, the guy goes and sleeps with the wife. Now it's become most men are way too loyal to women when these women are not even loyal to them. And I know it sucks for you guys to hear it like that, but it's true. Most women are not loyal to most men, but they will give them the perception that they are loyal. And it sucks. It sucks. But, it's about understanding people, and it's about going with what works. And guys, don't forget again, what works is checking out our Learn How to Survive and Thrive Using Government and Community Resources course. This is a great course. You guys all need to jump on this because things are going haywire in a handbasket right now. In today's challenging world, knowing how to use government and community resources can make all the difference. That's why I created the Survive and Thrive course. The 12-lesson crash course teaches you how to secure cash, money, food, housing, healthcare, and more. Imagine having a trusted advisor showing you how to leverage community support to stabilize your finances and grow your wealth. Join me and learn step-by-step strategies to maximize available resources and enhance your financial stability. Click the link in the description to sign up now. Guys, women have made these choices for themselves. They've chosen their bed. All right. And they're not going to face the consequences of that. But regardless of that, they are going to face the consequences, and they're not going to have men to fall back on.
Risky behaviors or even stepping outside the marriage. Just saying.
Yeah, we decided in the settlement agreement that I would get $600,000 because I didn't want to take
What
more.
the f do I have so much debt here to go through on your end? Where did the $600,000 go? When did you get the $600,000?
2 years ago.
Okay, where the f is it?
It's gone. Completely gone.
Where the f into where?
Well, I bought a house. And
With the $600,000?
with the 600,
Okay, so it's not gone.
It's not gone. Right.
It's tied up?
So I bought a house that was $330,000, and I bought it like outright. So like it's paid in full. So
Okay, so it goes half the cash.
Yes. But then I bought it sight unseen. And so when we entered the home,
Oh no.
yeah, I saw the outside because I drove by it. But
Oh, good, you
when
drove by it.
Yeah. When we entered the home, though, it was in shambles. So we had to renovate it completely, like gut job. So we saved some money by tearing everything down ourselves, but the renovation was like $100,000.
There's still $150,000 to $200,000 left. Where did it go?
Spending. Well, we had to buy
F***ing way.
furniture.
2 years.
Yes.
Nice furniture then. Apparently.
Yes, which you'll see I'm in debt for some furniture.
Oh,
She admits she regretted not getting more money.
Zero financial literacy and wishes that she had gotten more money. A lot of guys will work for 10 years to save $100,000. This man, she cleaned out a lot of his income, so she could have gotten more. She took $600,000, but she wished she had gotten more than that, which makes me suspect that he probably had somewhere in the range of maybe $1.2 million, maybe 1.5, and she basically settled for about $600K. And also, and then on top of that, don't forget there are her lawyer fees, because she got $600,000 in the actual divorce settlement, but for her to have had physically $600,000, the lawyer always gets a cut, so that means that the poor bastard probably ended up having to pay the lawyer easily anywhere from maybe $50,000 to $100,000 in legal fees. I know some of you guys are angry it's not that much. No, they get their cut. They get their motherfucking cut. Okay? I guarantee you, this guy spent tens of thousands at the very least in lawyer fees. It wasn't $10,000. On $600,000, hell no. Okay? Because if they didn't get a cut off that $600K settlement, then he had to pay a separate amount of money. So that could have been another $100,000 to even $200,000, because these lawyers don't play around. They do not fuck around. So this poor bastard lost a lot. But this is what karma is, guys. This is karma. This is karma, because these women knew nothing about finances. They knew nothing about wealth. They knew nothing about any of it. And this is what ended up happening to them. And this is how most guys, these are the consequences that most women are going to be facing. And when things go to hell, because you're going to have women basically empty, they're going to basically go after every guy. They're going to go after the guy who works at McDonald's so that they can go after McDonald's. Women are going to take every action and go after they're going to go after every friend they had over the last 20 years. So men who were that have money now, this is another reason why it's so important to look broke. It's so important to look broke. It's important to make women believe that you have nothing, and you didn't become anything. Where things are headed is a lot of men will ultimately rule the world from the shadows.
And why?
What?
Because she ran through that 600K so fast, it's almost laughable. She bought a 330K house that was falling apart and needed another 100K for renovations. Yet again, here's proof. Most women become homeowners either through inheritance or divorce settlements. If not for that, they wouldn't have the means.
Grew up, so you have to think of it from my perspective, right? From the age of 19 through the age of 28, 27, when I officially got divorced.
Yeah.
I did not learn anything about money.
You were just given money to spend, essentially.
Yeah, I just had a credit card and
it's interesting.
I could spend whatever I wanted. And
it's definitely much more of a lack of independence that a lot of people. There's skills that need to be developed through the early 20s, mistakes that need to be made almost.
Did I not just tell you? So men have to suffer and learn over the course of their lives throughout their 20s and their 30s, and that's the reason why they're able to accrue wealth later on in life. Most women do not go through this period of suffering and ups and downs so that they learn how to manage money later on. This is the reason why so many of us will be better off than the average woman, because the average woman has no financial literacy. She wins all of this money in divorce court, and the money is gone in time because she doesn't have any idea how to manage it, and there will always be people waiting to take it away from her. And trust me, it's very easy for them to take it.
At least the skills around them being learned before making the mistakes. Well, yeah, you wouldn't have had the opportunity in that situation if it was really as closed off as you're making it sound like. Then you guys got divorced. Who triggered the divorce? Who called for the divorce?
I did.
Okay.
So after
So you're realizing it.
Yeah.
She claims she didn't know anything, and that's where the real warning for men comes in. Wives used to be capable of running a household, handling the home, the children, and yes, even the finances. So what's the point of marrying someone who can't contribute? I mean, what's the use of marrying a freaking parasite? Her ex-husband is a fool for letting that slide. If she lacks basic skills or financial understanding, you better teach her or train her or run! Get to the chopper! A wife should be a helpmeet, not a help eat, not a burden. She's not helping to maintain the stability of the household, especially when it comes to managing money. You're setting yourself up for disaster. You see how much it cost them in the end? The foolishness.
You don't know where that other $150,000 to $200,000 went, do you? You don't know.
So part of that thing is in my ex relationship, I was spending $5,000 a month on both spending, and he was kind of just taking care of everything.
And here's where it really starts to fall apart. The ex-husband was basically giving her an allowance, $5,000 a month. She got so used to this lifestyle that once the money stopped coming in, she had no clue how to manage her finances. This is what happens when people become accustomed to money they didn't earn themselves.
Now, guys, I want to point something out to you as well. She was given an allowance of $5,000 a month. So she could spend $5K on whatever she wanted to. But she didn't have to spend money on rent. She didn't have to spend money on food. She didn't have to spend money on anything. That sounds like a sugar baby. So she was given a $60,000 credit card. That's basically it. And we don't know what bonuses she got in the relationship either. Because there probably are times when she got more than $5,000, like at Christmas time. Maybe he gave her $10K. So she was living easy.
Going back to a normal lifestyle, impossible. This is why women abuse the court system to make sure they can keep spending their now ex-husband's money on BS. Samantha Lee Gibson, look at what she's spending the money on.
But we're going with Kate's skating rink, an Appleville, Taco Bell, storage, Sugar Creek, Boston Provisions, ice cream, soccer, Aaron's Good Girl. You're Aaron's Good Girl?
I don't know what that is.
No, maybe he's Aaron's Good Girl. Interesting. Kindle Unlimited. We can go to a library. I bet they have one. I'm sure North Carolina has figured out libraries.
Yeah, there's one walking distance from my house.
Oh, kill me now. Starbucks. A vending machine for Pepsi. It's not even a real beverage. Buster's Real Ice Cream, McDonald's, Chipotle, Starbucks, go getting more Pepsi, Apple subscription or in-app purchase, Bath and Body Works so we can smell all pleasant.
This list.
And by the way, guys, just for you wondering what Aaron's Good Girl is, I just actually did a little bit of Googling, and it's actually spelled ARINS. Aaron's Good Girl is actually dog treats. So Aaron's Good Girl dog treats. And they sell dog treats, baseball caps, stuff like this. It's basically dog treats. So that's what that is.
On and on, guys. Watch the full video. Her and her new husband, who she considers an upgrade from the last, are burning through cash like there's no tomorrow. Caleb Hammer is practically pulling his hair out going over their expenses. They're blowing money on absolutely useless things every month. No financial discipline whatsoever. These two are eating out or ordering food almost every day. Women these days have problems cooking for their husbands, but apparently they have problems cooking for themselves too. They're not just eating their way through their money, they're burning through their future too.
I've talked about this plenty of times in many of my videos. Most women today cannot cook and clean because they were told that that is patriarchy, that is oppressive. So they can't take care of themselves. As a result, they expect the man who they marry will ultimately pay for DoorDash and all their other and everything else that they need, because these are not functional human beings. They cannot survive just by living alone and taking care of themselves. If they don't go out and have a guy buy them a meal, for example, if they're single, a lot of times they won't even eat that evening.
And you can't afford to get out of debt any quicker with an emergency fund. In 6 years, you're going to be mid-30s. The dude's going to be in his 40s. It's like, and then you guys are going to be so far behind in retirement. It's like your future. You talked about wanting a family with a bigger house. That's not even an option that exists. You can get a family, but a bigger house, it's not even an option that exists. It's with the thing you're putting your wants in the wedding. It is a want.
This is the fate of many women. The moral of the story is simple. Money shouldn't be in the hands of people who didn't earn it. Look at lottery winners. They go broke because they didn't work for it.
Guys, look at the situation. This is karma. This woman squandered almost $1 million because don't forget the lawyer fees, and ends up homeless. Well, she's not homeless yet, but wouldn't surprise me if that's on the way. She squandered $1 million and ended up broke after the divorce. And it's crazy that she was able to go and find yet another simp to go, that has a lot of money. It's crazy. But anyway, guys, what do you think regarding all of this? And the funny thing is, who is this guy? That probably was the backup guy, guys. She said that we got this house and we had to remodel it because we just drove by it. She said, who's we? All right, guys, who did she leave him for? Who did she leave her husband for? She probably left him for the backup guy. What do you think regarding all of this? You guys, ultimately, this is what women are going to find themselves childless. They're going to find themselves single. They're going to find themselves single, childless, and sometimes are not even just single. Sometimes they're, well, not even just childless. Sometimes some of these women will have children, but they're going to be in extraordinary states of poverty, destitution. Half all women are going to be childless and single in 5 years, and then that's only counting the childless women. The women who have children are also going to be single. So you're going to have, that's like 70-80% of women are going to be single in 5 years, and they're going to be living in poverty. They're not going to have, they're going to be living in poverty, living in the streets, living in shelters, living in the woods, and they're going to blame men and blame society, but it doesn't matter because the world doesn't work like that. And this is going to basically be their karma. You know, hard times are coming for women. Many of them are already going through it, but they'll never admit to it because of arrogance and ego. This woman squandered almost $1 million and ends up broke after her divorce. More and more women are going to go through this in the future. Guys, let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And guys, if the listen, before we finish, 1 hour, I forgot to toss it out there. 1 hour gang, 1 hour gang, 1 hour gang. If you made it to this far, if you made it this far into the video, just type 1 hour gang into the comments. 1 hour gang, 1 hour gang, and 1 hour gang. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men walking away. And cheers.